Hey everybody, it's another episode of As the Crow Flies Hiking. Today, we are doing the Sipsey Wilderness Loop. This is one of the 3 loops or trails in the Alabama Triple Crown. So we're gonna do a 21-mile loop, and we are looking at the loop, and we're essentially going to be doing an instructional video of this loop. And hopefully we can do that today and give you the essentials of the Triple Crown of Alabama. This leg is the Sipsey Wilderness. Squidly, tell us about where we are and where we're going to start with.
All right, so we're in the Sipsey Wilderness of Northwest Alabama, and we are currently standing in the Sipsey Trailhead parking lot. And there are 3 places that you could start this loop and not do a lot of backtracking. This is one of the 3. We will pass the other 3, and I think, Crow, it would be a good idea to sort of point those out as we go along, give somebody a frame of reference if they start at one of the other trailheads.
And our primary goal with this today is to anybody that's coming to do the Alabama Triple Crown to show them the Sipsey loop and how it works and all the turns, so that when you get on this, you won't miss a turn. Because the Sipsey Wilderness is very vast. I mean, you can find your way out eventually. There's roads all the way around it. We're going to be going past the Borden Creek Trailhead.
Borden Trailhead and the THOMPSON Trailhead.
And the THOMPSON Trailhead. So you could start the loop in any of those 3, but we are going to start it here, and I think this is what we've decided where we'll start it for the Alabama Triple Crown. We're going to start on Trail 200, heading in a counterclockwise manner when we get to what we call the post-apocalyptic bridge. All right, let's move. Starting on 200. The first trail junction that you come to on the Sipsey section of the Alabama Triple Crown is this sign. We started at the Sipsey Trailhead, and now we're looking at 209. That's where we will be coming back around. When we get through with the loop, we will come back to this junction, cross the creek, and then head back to the Sipsey Trailhead parking lot. So we are still on 200, and we'll continue on 200 until we get to what I call the post-apocalyptic bridge. That's 209, and it crosses the creek down there. That will be where we come back to at the end of the day. Let's keep moving. We have reached Fat Man Squeeze, and we're about to go through these rocks. It's about the only way to go. You can't really go up. It just leads you to a no man's land. You can't go down because that's Borden Creek. So we have to go through these rocks. When you've reached about 2 miles, you will hit this Fat Man Squeeze. Stay close to Borden Creek. You're still on 200. There's little trails that veer off and go to campsites, but you really want to just kind of stay close to Borden Creek. Let's go through Fat Man Squeeze.
That wall's wet.
Sure is. Not too bad. We have reached the end of 200. There's the sign for 200 where it starts and goes back that way and onto the Sipsey Trailhead. So we are thinking that we've done about 2.5 miles from the parking lot, and now we come to the bridge. I don't really know what this bridge is called. I'm sure it's called something. Up this road is the trailhead for Borden Creek. So that's where you can access this loop there. So this is where we make the turn. We are going to now go across the bridge, continue our loop on the Alabama Triple Crown introduction or instructional video of where to go from here. We'll keep moving on the loop now. We have now crossed the bridge and we are now on 224. So as you continue on the loop over the bridge, you're going to be accessing 224 from here way up the hill. We're going to go up on the ridge and we're going to continue on 224 for a good ways until we get to the next crossing. Once you cross the bridge down there at the end of 200 and you head over the bridge, you're going to go up a gradual hill, and we'll be taking this trail for a long way. This is still 224 once you pass the bridge and head up the hill, and then you're on a flat area for a good ways until our next crossing, which will be in just a bit. We just came from that way. That is 224. That's from the bridge. We came to the bridge and we believe it's approximately 4.7 miles. Don't quote me on that, even though I quoted myself. We are now at a junction. We are here at 204, and 204 goes that way. If you want to go a side trail off the Crown Loop, you can go that way. Takes you down to B Branch Falls. So you can go down and check that out, but how far is that, Keith?
That's about another mile, but it's 204A, and it's roughly a mile to the offshoot on 204A, and then maybe what, like between a quarter and a half mile down, if you count all the way down to B Branch into the canyon.
And down at the bottom of that falls is one of the biggest poplar trees in Alabama.
Yeah, it's the champion in Alabama.
So that is an offshoot you can take if you just want to add a little bit to it and see something kind of scenic or iconic here. Otherwise, you're going to be heading down this way. You're staying on 224 from the bridge, and we're moving on 224 to continue to Thompson's Creek Trailhead. We have now reached the end of Trail 224. So here's 208, there's the sign, and we're gonna go head that way down to Thompson's Trailhead. We'll keep you updated on the next turn on the Alabama Triple Crown, the Sipsey Wilderness portion. So we almost missed this because when we came here last time, all this blowdown was not here, but this is where we turn and go on 208. 223 goes behind me straight. So as you come up to the top of this rise or hill, you will see a sign that says 208. Well, yes, 208 goes this way, but 208 turns and we'll be heading that way. If you can see the sign over there, the problem is there's a lot of blowdowns here, so it's hard to see, but there's 208 where we take a turn. If you go straight at the top of this rise, you will be on 223, and that's not where you want to go. This is where you take a turn and go left onto 208. And there's the sign as Squidly is standing by. We made it to Thompson's Trailhead. Thompson's Creek, no, Thompson's Trailhead. Essentially, we came from up there. That is 208. We've now gotten through with 208, and there is this old iconic bridge down here that I'll show you, but it's like a one-lane bridge that goes over to some parking. So you can access the loop from here if you wanted to. You would just start here and go one way or the other. But we're starting at the Sipsey Trailhead. We believe, looking at the maps, that this is essentially the halfway mark, or at least it's the spiritual halfway, I guess we can call it, because we think we're right at close to halfway, being about 10.5 miles, 10 miles, something of the 21. So now we're gonna get some lunch since we're halfway, and that's probably what we'll do in the Alabama Triple Crown as well.
All right, so we started here at the Sipsey campground where we're parked, and we have hiked Trail 200 to there. That's where the post-apocalypse bridge is. We hiked 224, which is pretty long, all the way to here, and where it picks up 208, and then 208, and that's where we almost missed that turn. We almost went 223, and fortunately Crow caught us and went 208 and came down the mountain, and we're at where that blue dot is. And now we have 206 to go. That's following kind of a crooked route that way. It picks up 209, continues, and that's where we meet back to 200 right there, and we only have about between a quarter and a half mile to backtrack.
We've had lunch and now we're heading on trail 206. We're gonna be taking 206 for a good ways, and then we'll get on 209, and that'll take us all the way back to 200. So there's just a couple more turns, then you got your Alabama Triple Crown of the Sipsey portion completed. I need to mention here that as we get to this sign, as I'm crossing this little creek, it says 206. This is a junction that I have missed before when I was hiking here with somebody else. And then last time, Squidly let me know at this big campsite here where that 206 sign is, there is a junction that takes you up. It's kind of an off trail, but there's a established trail on up to White Oak Hollow, and it goes up there and you can get to Bee Falls that way, but you don't need to take that route. You need to stay on 206. We'll be coming counterclockwise. You need to stay here. Don't go to the left up to White Oak Hollow. Go to the right where it says 206 and keep going back towards 200. Well, 209, then 200. We are still on 206 and we've made it to Shiprock and Eye of the Needle. Yeah, you can't see them because we're here with all the leaves in almost the 1st of June. We have passed by Shiprock and Eye of the Needle, and now we come to this sign that says 206, and this is where, what'd you call it, the confluence of
Thompson Creek and Quillen.
And Quillen Creek, which becomes
Sipsey Fork.
Sipsey Fork, and we'll be on Sipsey Fork the rest of the way. So we're at 206 and we're making the turn, and we're going to head down by the creek a good portion of this rest of the way, but you stay on 206 until you get to 209, and that is still part of the loop. Once we get back to 200, we'll basically have completed the loop and then be heading out on 200. We have reached the trail junction with 209. So 209 starts right here. We have come from that way where Squidly is, back that way, and we're heading this way, and we've made it to 209. You got to go on 209. This is 201 that goes across there and up that mountain up there. We're not going up there. We're going 209. We're on the longest trail left. I want to say that last trail, 206, was about what, 4
point something, I think.
Yeah, from Thompson's Creek trailhead until this sign of 209. So you made it this far. Now let's finish it out on 209 and get back to 200 where we get back to the car. When you make it to this point, you head over B Branch. When you get here, coming on the Alabama Triple Crown, you're gonna head this way. Do not turn left. To the left is a trail that'll go up to the Bee Falls. You do not wanna go that way. You wanna go this way where Squidly is, by a big campsite. So you wanna go back to the right and head by this campsite. This is to be the trail. All right, let's keep moving on 209 and find our way back to 200, and then we will be done. 21 miles. All right, as you're about to finish the Alabama Triple Crown loop in the Sipsey, you're gonna end up just a little bit away from the end, seeing Fall Creek Falls. Once you see this, you know you're getting close. I would just say that last leg of 209 that we just did seems like forever, didn't it?
Man, no truer words were spoken.
Maybe, I don't know, it seemed like 5 miles or more that you just keep on this one path, and it doesn't really change much, and you just keep going. And eventually you run into Fall Creek Falls. So once you get here, you know you're about to see the finish line in a little bit. Or at least we think, we'll see. So from here, we crossed over the Borden Creek and Sipsey Fork. We crossed there, and now we head up to where we started, a half mile from the Sipsey trailhead. We're back at the sign, And we have basically about a half mile back to the parking lot. There it is, 200, and we just finished 209. So let's head back to the parking lot and finish this out. I want to let Keith check me and make sure I got this right, but here's what I think the Alabama Triple Crown, the crown for the Sipsey, is. Essentially, we started at Trail 200 at the Sipsey Trailhead in the parking lot. We took 200 all the way to the what we call the Apocalypse Bridge. Yeah. There we got on 224. Yeah. We went up to the ridge, essentially. We made our way up to the top and cruised across until we got to 208.
Right.
We got on 208 there, and then we took 208 with a little twist and turns down to the Thompson Creek Bridge or Trailhead. Yeah. At the end of there at 208, we got on 206. And at 206, we took it as far as we could go, well, till we got to 209.
Right. It kind of becomes 209.
Oh, it becomes 209, that's right. So at 209, that's what we've been doing for the past few hours. It's, I don't know, 6-7 miles, I don't know exactly, right?
I think it's between 7 and 8. 7
and 8 miles. They got us back to here. There at the confluence of Sipsey Creek and Borden Creek, we crossed the creek. Now we're back on 200, and the parking lot is right up there. That is the Alabama Triple Crown for the Sipsey. Come join us.